first regular board meeting of the Kingman Unified School District at 4:30 on November 12th, 2024. Will you stand and recite the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Tony Henry.
Lori Grant.
Star Jensen.
Boyd Hurry.
All right. Item number 4, we have a quorum. Item number 4, call to the audience. The board will listen to any comment from the public, but will not respond except as permitted by Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01. The board may refer the item to the administration or request to have it placed on a future agenda. And I did receive one call to the public by Lainey Spinard. If you want to come on up to the microphone, please.
Hi, I'm Lainey Spinard. I was just wanting to talk about the 8-day final policy that we had because I was originally on COLA online and I wanted to transfer back to brick and mortar. But I wasn't informed that if I came back to brick and mortar and since I had missed attendance over at COLA, that I would have to take finals to see if I get credits for any of my classes that I've already taken. And I was only informed by one of my teachers. Any of my other teachers that I've asked for like a study guide so I can prepare for the final, they all tell me just to go down to the guidance and figure it out on my own.
Is that an item to refer to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So you understand they can't talk to you about it in a call to the public, but they can assign me, the superintendent, to come to the school and talk to you and the principal about it. So I believe that's what you're saying.
Yes.
So which school are you at?
I'm at Lee Williams.
At Lee Williams. Okay,
Yes.
so I'll work with your principal to schedule an appointment with you.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you so much.
thank you very much.
Thank you. I know that's hard to do, and it's hard for us not to ask a ton of questions sometimes, so thank you. All right, that will take us to item number 5, reports. First is Dr. Dorner and the superintendent's report.
President Henry, members of the board, we have a couple of reports this evening to update you on district happenings. I would like to invite Tracy Humphreys and Deanne from SSC to give the annual, well, I don't think Deanne's coming up, but Tracy Humphreys is, to give our annual report on our contracted service with SSC for grounds, facilities, and maintenance.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I am Tracy Humphrey. I am the Facilities Director with SSC. And Deanne King, who's back here waving, and Coulter also, which I'll talk about him in a little bit. I will be doing the quarterly business review. And I have a clicker and everything, you guys. So the purpose of the QBR is to review it and so that facilities and the district can get together to see if there's anything that we need to evaluate or anything that we can work on for improvement. SSC at your school. We currently maintain 12 buildings. We maintain 1,294,325 square feet, 86 full-time equivalent employees, and 227 acres managed. That is not overall acreage, that is acreage that we actually do anything with. Agenda today. I will be going through our people, custodial update, facilities maintenance update, grounds update, and our performance. Our people. So as you can see, most people that are around here know these are our maintenance guys, and I had to beg them to come and take pictures. And I got everybody to fold their hands except for Ernie. But he's been around long enough, so I just let him go. Management organization. I have Daryl Lomack on this because he is new to the CEO position since October. He actually came to Kingman because he felt like this was such a strong account and he just felt like it was a really good account. He's not making it everywhere, but he did especially come here. So that was pretty awesome. Tim Tyler is the regional VP. Coulter Sims, who is back here, he is our RDO. Myself, Deanne. And then Anthony Rodriguez is our maintenance manager. Jude Case and Terrence Handyside are our custodial managers. And then Galen Niedenheiser is our grounds manager. Staffing and HR updates. Currently, we have 66 FTE custodial employees. We have 12 maintenance employees, and grounds are 8 FTE. So an overall of 86 FTE equivalent. Those are our people over at Manzanita. We had a luncheon. Manzanita has always been very gracious to let us use their space. It's so close, it's very nice to go over there and use that space, so we appreciate that. Custodial update. Can anybody tell me what building this is? Yes.
White Cliffs.
Absolutely. So look how wonderful the hallways look. And this is, this is our custodian, John. As you guys can tell, he's been very busy doing floors. So what we have scheduled is we are going to be recoding cafeterias in quite a few of the schools. Desert Willow is one that we actually did a training on this past Friday and Monday. So we were able to take new employees, get them trained on floors, and have them redo the cafeteria. It looks wonderful. And then the other ones we'll be doing on Fridays and during breaks. KHS scrub and recoat hallways. That is a large facility. That is a pretty big undertaking, so that will be done in increments. Those are things that we'd like to start doing on Fridays, do a section, and then we move on to the next area. And then pressure washing the exterior entryways and sidewalks. We actually have a hot pressure washer that works very well on gum. It's heated. We tried to use it in the summer. It was just way too hot for the employee to do it. So we're going to do that in the fall to get the gum and stuff off the sidewalks in front of the schools. Recent custodial projects. The first picture is of Desert Willow. We stripped and waxed the floor, the first and second. So you see the start and then the finish. Manzanita cafeteria floor. Down at the bottom on the right hand is Black Mountain hallway. And then the other two pictures are KHS set up for KUSD town hall meeting. That was a wonderful event that we, actually Deanne and I, were able to be part of. And we were invited. We got to meet a lot of faculty. We got to meet a lot of people from the community. We were involved. It really showed us how much KUSD cares about the community and to continue to get better over and over. So we were just really excited to be involved with that. Facilities maintenance update. So as you can see, Ernie again, he's on here. He is our locksmith. He is actually getting ready to retire shortly. So he has a great knowledge base. So we have someone working very closely with him so that we get him trained before Ernie leaves. Schedule maintenance projects, replumbing the copper lines and replacement of mixing pumps at KHS Kitchen. That has been a huge issue with the pumps. They have been going out prematurely because the plumbing was not done correctly. So we're going to go in, we're going to fix the plumbing so that the life of the pumps will be more realistic with how long they should be lasting. Remove and replace garbage disposals at Lee Williams and Surbat. Complete certification of fire visor rooms at all locations. That actually has been completed. Playground barrier replacement. That is something, the black borders at the schools were, from being in the sun, they were cracked, they were in bad shape. So Black Mountain was our biggest. We had over 70 that we replaced there. That was quite a job, but that was our first one. We learned from that, so we got better with the other two schools, and they were smaller projects. And then water fill stations added at Mount Tipton. That is something that they wanted. They did not, got tired of having to purchase water, that kind of thing. So now they're able to just use their cups, fill them up. So they're pretty happy about that. And then we removed the damaged playground area at Desert Willow. So that was a synthetic playground on the jungle gym area, and we removed that because it had holes in it. It was just worn out. It's very costly to replace, and we put sand in that spot. And that is our welder. That is Ron. If anybody knows Ron, he is a jack of all trades. He can pretty much do everything. Recent maintenance projects, the highlight, this is our highlight right here. This is a wonderful project that we were given the task to do, and we really enjoyed it because, as you guys can see, it made a huge difference in how this looks. And we had a lot of help from Stacy. We worked very closely with Stacy, and she was wonderful to work with. We had some hiccups, but everybody was wonderful and worked with us. I know you guys probably had a meeting where you didn't actually have carpet on the floor. So that tells you we did have some hiccups, but everybody was very understanding that that was out of our control, but we worked together and we got it done. So, KPI updates. So maintenance connection is something that was brought online when the contract was brought here, but it was something that they needed more training on, and we have brought someone from corporate down that has worked with us quite a bit to get things put in place to where we can start tracking preventative maintenance work orders, we can start tracking corrective work orders and total work orders, request, events, that kind of thing. We have a better handle on those, and we're able to see what we're doing. So with preventative maintenance work orders, the last quarter we did 1,871. Corrective, 1,267. Overall, 3,334. With that, work orders that were put in, 98% were completed. This does not include if a work order was put in and it was canceled, or a work order was put in and it was put on hold. These are only ones that we would have went in and actually done something with. Okay, 98 is a wonderful number. We have made huge improvements even since Deanne and I have came to this contract with that. We just feel like we have a better idea of how we're doing. And that's what maintenance connection can tell us. Grounds updates, Lee William. So one of the big projects is Mount Tipton. We're regrading the natural areas because it is so close to the playground and the soccer area and things that we talked with Rob, and he really had concerns about animals, snakes, that kind of thing, getting to where the kids were. So we've been working weekly to take a little bit up to where now we have the natural areas up away from the buildings so that you have area that is safer for the children. So that is a project that is ongoing. KHS greenhouse condensation lines, that is also something that we have put in. The greenhouse was not being used. It has been cleaned out, and I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but it's been cleaned out, and then also the barn, we put in lines to water the animals there. And managing field usage for all athletics at Lee Williams. So, Jennifer has been wonderful. The AD has been wonderful. We have worked together to come up with a plan. You have a lot of athletics there. You have a field that we have to maintain. We have to have readily available for games. So we have come up with a plan. Everybody's worked together to give the grass and the field time with people not being on it. So we've seen improvements, and now we have soccer, and we're going to be able to play games on the field. So that was awesome. So here are your recent ground projects. As you can see, the first two pictures are the greenhouse repair and cleanup. There was weeds. It was in really bad shape because it hadn't been used. It looks wonderful now. It's not completed. There still are some projects, mainly electrical, which we are going to oversee that project and get that all up and running. So Lee William courtyard tree removal, and then wildfire removal of the dead tree. And I'm sure everybody is glad to see that go. It was time to go. Oh, she's not.
I'm sorry, it was dead in the first place.
Our performance, this is also at Lee Williams. She was nice enough to let me take her picture too. Goals for the next quarter. So number one, improve safety training programs. We have a strong safety training program in place, but that is something you always can make better. We want our employees to come here to a safe environment so that they can go home and be safe with their family. So that is something we continually work on day after day. Number two, improve usage of digital timekeeping systems. Our timekeeping is online, but we have not been utilizing to the full potential. We can have the employees submit time off requests in the system so that we are better able to track our employees who's off, how many people we have in each school, so that it's a better recording and tracking. And then third, improve internal facility processes. We have a lot of processes that we have worked on, that we have implemented, but we have a long way to go. We want to become very efficient at what we're doing, and we want to be able to answer all of your needs, and so that is something we will continue to work on. Ta-da. So, thank you from the Kingman SSC Directors team. We had a Facilities Appreciation Day. Adriana had a friend that had a photo booth. We took full advantage. So, any questions?
Do you know what the average time is from an employee of King Unified School District putting in like a maintenance order or work order to it being completed?
It varies depending on what it is. There's some things that we can complete quickly. There's other things that we may have to order a part for. So with that, what's so great about Maintenance Connection is we're able to put in notes. So once it gets assigned, then it goes to the tech, and he will go check, and if, for example, needed a part, he would put that notes in there. So whoever put the work order in will get that feedback.
So how long from the time that it is written to the time that there is a...
Assigned? Oh.
Well, or a comment or a note kind of giving...
Typically within it, a day to two. Yeah. It usually gets assigned the day it would get put in. If it got put in, let's say, late Friday evening, it would probably be Monday morning before it would get assigned. But typically, they are assigned every day. So.
I got it. And I'm not sure if this is more your area or your area. We talked about it a long time ago about looking into artificial grass with the prices of water going up. Has there been any venture into that? And we're already, it sounds like you already have to make special arrangements just so the kids can play on it. Artificial grass, who cares? They can go on day after day.
From what I understand, I mean, it is extremely costly to do.
It is up front, yeah.
It is. Down the road, yes, it will pay for itself, but how long is it going to take? That is something financially, I don't know kind of what the district thinks about that, but.
It's on our discussion list for sure. And I just had an AD reach out within the last few days, asking for the water meter information to do a cost analysis. So I think it'll be something we talk about again, the cost of the water per field versus the cost of turf construction.
Like I said, I didn't know what that applied to.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if it's been an issue lately, but I remember White Cliffs Gym have a flooding problem. A flooding problem when the monsoon season would come in.
Oh, well, we didn't really, I'm only going by this season because this is my first,
Right, but
but
someone brought up
there
that
wasn't really any
chance,
issues
right.
this year. I know that at that facility, we have sandbags outside, I'm sure for that exact reason. But I am not sure. That would be something I would need to check if that was still an issue.
That should be handled, pardon my interruption, by the Sunbelt Park project. That part of our exchange of land use for the park that will be adjacent directly behind White Cliffs is some flooding control. So I think the city's on track and moving forward with that, which will alleviate the flooding, so you may not have anything you need to research.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Great question.
That's
Great
all my
question.
questions. That's all I have for you.
That's
Thank you
easy.
very much.
You're very welcome. Anyone else?
I had the opportunity to travel with my girls to a couple of different high schools across Arizona this last season. And I have to say, our facilities look 100% better than anywhere else that I've been. So good job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Means a lot. I did want to say one last thing. We really have felt like we were brought into KUSD with open arms and a trust and a bond, and we're treated like we are one of this team, and it means a lot to us. So we want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
And I will just add, we meet faithfully on a weekly basis, a minimum.
We do.
SSE interacts with everybody every day, but Finance Director Jones and myself, and our facilities coordinator, Tom Mason, and I, every Tuesday, because it's important that we hear reports such as the one you just shared, that our schools look good and things are handled. Some days it's perfectly imperfect, but they're very responsive.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you.
Okay, the second part of the report is my town hall update. I did give each of you a copy of the town hall report. I've spoken with administrators about our KUSD town hall. And I've sent a copy of this report to KUSD all, and we have a core team meeting here at the district office regularly. So I don't want to sound redundant, but I want to be recorded in a school board meeting, so anybody that wasn't privy to any of that information has it. We're pretty excited about the town hall. It was well received. Thank you to the 2 board members that were able to attend. I'm sorry one of you was under the weather that day. Board Member Hardy and Board Member President Henry, you were there. Plus every administrator, teachers from every campus, paraprofessionals, you can see on the inside of the report, the variety of stakeholders that were present. The idea was to have a government table, first responder table, mental health and wellness support table, teacher table, staff, students, current educators, second educators, state colleges, and with a lot of work from the team, Valerie Portillo and Billy Pottenberg in particular, we were able to secure well over 100 RSVPs, and that was no small feat, so that was pretty amazing. The conversation, the slide that you can see, and hopefully IT department, is that on the screen for anyone who might be watching or watching it later? Awesome. These are the town hall conversation trends. Each table had a moderator. They spent the first hour in like groups. Teachers were with teachers, students were with students, government workers were together, and so on. Talking about the KUSD priorities of well-being, communication, accessible learning, and effective and transparent transitions. It was really an open forum. As I said in the town hall, we left our egos at the door. That's a vulnerable place to be, to invite 100+ people to share their minds on how we're doing and what the needs are, and it was super exciting to be able to offer that stage. The moderators gathered live trends. They typed notes in to a share sheet that was, IT helped us set up a large screen. Anybody could see what was happening at any table at any time. And just started putting down what they were hearing. And then the fun is I get to look at all of that afterwards and look for the trends across the tables. So this is what you're seeing on this slide, or in front of you are the conversation trends. And I won't go into great depth on any of them. This is available to anybody who requests it. Under staff and student well-being, and this is across all stakeholder groups. I think our moderators shared the sentiment in our follow-up meeting that it was fascinating how similar the trends were across all of the groups. So it gives me chills. One thing we know is well-being is important in any setting, right? And it was really powerful for our teacher table to hear our parent table or our government representative tables say they cared about staff well-being and student well-being. Take care of your staff because we need them and they're amazing. We talked about counseling and wraparound services for adults and students, commitments to consistency, making sure people have access and knowledge of resources. A new idea was an electronic reporting system for safety and awareness, growing our wonderful and amazing preschool to more sites. Under communication, people are looking for consistent communication. A little bit of diverging opinions in this area. About half the table said one system of communication. Parents who have kids at 3 different campuses don't want to search through 3 different communication outputs, right? You kind of want to know where to go to get your information instead of depending on the school. But on other tables, some of our community folks were saying, as many ways as you can, 5 ways in 5 days. And so we kind of, at a minimum, just need to build a much more consistent avenue for communication to go out. It was interesting that our students really want to hear from the district about district policies. They're very interested in consistency from campus to campus. And this would be an example, the call to the public today, what is our attendance, what are our pathways, what's available. So kind of folding in the school and the district together. Everybody was interested in more town hall events at individual school levels, because we looked from the district lens, but now parents and stakeholders want to know about their own individual schools. We actually have our first student town hall happening at Lee Williams on December 12th. I know Kingman High is also going to do one, where it will be 100% students. They're going to have 16 tables of students. They're going to have students moderating, and the questions are going to be about what students need. And then the strategies for the high school model going forward will come out of that. So good things already happening in communication. The equitable and accessible learning environments, making sure that programs are available to all kids across the district. And we've talked about that as a school board and a district team. If there's a program on one campus, but a student is zoned and attending another campus, how can we connect them with the program not on their campus? And that extended down into elementary. There were some very creative ideas about some of our elementaries have some pretty awesome after-school opportunities, and maybe students across the district might be interested, so there could be some exchange programs there. Making sure we have systematic approaches to informing students and parents. We want to make sure you don't just hear it from one person, again, like you were saying, that you hear it consistently from the top down. And then we were also surprised the lack of knowledge of our pathways. We talk about our CTE pathways and our academic pathways, and we have pathways that head to college, trades, careers, the military. There's a plethora of opportunities, and even our own staff, even though we know it and we feel like we're communicating it continually and constantly, it's not hitting. So that was a real aha as well. And then growing our internship pathways. Our community partners are excited at the opportunity to mentor students through internships, or just mentoring them in life and soft workplace skills and all of those things that go along with the pathway to becoming economic providers. And then finally, our transparent transitions. We're increasing and expanding our partnerships with middle schools and high schools. We're really going to launch the early college initiative by next year. We'll be coming to you that. We have a committee that's looking at high school models and delivery, aligning our CTE pathways to the community needs, exploring flexible models, increasing community involvement, post-grad opportunities, and then making sure that opportunities are equitable for all students. And then the last thing I'll just point out, okay. Okay, that was weird. It went and came back. I'm looking up. Oh, okay, stay here. Why is he doing that? One more time. I don't know. Can you advance me? There it goes. Just stay there. Actions and timelines. So we sent a report to our community stakeholders, and like I said, everybody in KUSD, to put a timeline and a measurement on ourselves, and I'm so proud of our team. We've already met. We have committee chairs or project managers for every one of these initiatives. You can see what our goal is for the next 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, and then within a year. And pretty much everything we talked about in the town hall in one way, shape, or form is incorporated into our 30, 60, 90, 6 month, and 1 year plan. And we will report back to the board and the community as we achieve those goals. So It was a really super exciting day, and I appreciate you hearing an update on it. That's it.
Thank you. I did have the opportunity to attend, and there really was good conversation going on, so thank you for the hard work to do that, to pull our community together. I think it was really exciting, so appreciate that. Any reports from the board? I was just going to say that Dr. Cox, Dr. Dorner, and I had an opportunity to attend the ASBA county meeting on October 29th down at the Bullhead City School District office, I believe it was. We were able to re-elect Sarah Hall as the Mojave County Director, and we were able to meet the new Executive Director, Justine Rice. And they are charting new territory, selling the C's, the letter C, celebrating leadership and collaboration. So it was quite exciting. So I'm looking forward to maybe the new direction of ASBA and being able to be a part of that. Thank you. All right, so that will move us to item number 6, the approval of routine orders of business. Are there any items to be pulled?
I would like to remove the fundraisers for Kingman High School and Manzanita School.
So that's item number D. Okay, any others? And is there a motion to approve the routine order of business?
I'll make a motion to approve with exception.
Okay, we have a motion to approve all items except for item number G. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Lori?
So for the Kingman High School fundraiser and the Manzanita fundraiser, I believe it's been the board precedence that we have to have the year. And so on both of these, the years are missing.
Do you want them to give it to you, or do you want to postpone your approval?
I think we're just wanting to make sure that
It's consistent.
it's consistent and that when reviews are done, that it's been noted that that's the way it should be done. They won't be able to resubmit this. I think most of the fundraisers are going to be completed by the time we have the next board meeting. So just so that it's in the minutes, that, we've noted
And that is for this 2024 or 2025.
Manzanita and
Kingman High.
Kingman High, are your fundraisers for this year?
Yes.
Yeah, can you make note for your office managers or whoever is submitting those to be sure to include the year?
yes. Thank you, guys.
All right. So with that clarification, I would like to make a motion to approve the fundraisers.
Okay. We have a motion on the table to approve item number G, school fundraisers. Is there a second?
I can second.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to item number 7, the second reading of changes in policy as recommended by the Arizona School Board Association, policies 801 through 807.
President Henry, members of the board, this is the second reading. We're available for any questions at this time.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve the recommended changes?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Motion and a second on the table. Any other comments? Questions? Concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, approve ASBA's proposed bylaw changes and to designate Valerie Portillo to submit the vote as Arizona School Board Association in the manner of the board has approved, in the manner the board has approved. So ASBA put out a webinar that I hope you were able to watch on the reason for the changes in the bylaws. So if you have any questions, I might can answer them. Valerie and I might can answer them. The only thing I had in there that I might would be opposed to, it is a approve all, you can't take things out, but in Article 5, Section 1.2, they had, I'll just go to it so I don't misquote. statement about upon declaration of candidacy for a paid partisan elected office, an officer, director, executive committee member must resign from the board of directors immediately. That's really the only change. I thought I would have had a disagreement, but it's not going to affect me, so I don't plan to run for a paid partisan office and do both at the same time. So, did you guys have any other questions or anything? All right. So then, do we want to submit a vote to approve or not approve? Well, it's approving all of their changes, and all of the member districts have one vote to either approve and adopt or not. So our vote yes would be to approve and adopt, otherwise it would be a no.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommended changes.
Okay. Is
A
there a
second?
Any other comments or questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, select the district's delegate for the school year to represent Kingman Unified School District at the Arizona School Board Association's conferences. So this has been kind of a learning curve for us.
Is there any volunteers? I'd like to nominate Tony, since she's already gone to one and she's got the background and she's been consistent in her meetings, and she was recognized for the many hours that she's already putting into her.
Do you have the bandwidth to be able to take on that task?
Most of the time, I mean, if I couldn't, I would make sure I let you guys know that there was a conflict. And mostly it would be a conflict in schedules.
I'll second the motion to nominate Tony.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other comments?
Is it something you want to do?
I'm always in for learning something new. When we were at the county meeting, Dr. Cox just from the floor nominated me to be the county director. And not that I would have really ever put my name in the hat for that. I was like, well, it's the democratic process, so let's go for it. I gave my 2-minute speech, so I don't mind learning new projects. The better that I can be, the better I can lead or be a member of the board, so
And
I would
if-
accept it.
For whatever your scheduling is, I'm sure if we can pick it up, we will for you. and fill you in, so. All right.
All right, then is there?
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion and a second, so we just need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Thank you guys for that vote of confidence. I'm sure my cheeks are turning a little.
You think there's a cookie for you?
I did eat the cookie on the way home from here. Number 10, possible action to approve mileage reimbursement for members of the board to travel to special meetings and workshop. This was an item that was tabled from last month so that we had more time to think about it. Mileage reimbursement is not for things that are normal, like normal board meetings, the discipline hearings and things like that. But when it comes to special meetings, say like the trip to Bullhead for those, or the ASB conferences in Phoenix, we know that there is a district vehicle that is available for us, and that would be the preference of the district. But if we chose to drive our own cars, we just have to have a motion and a vote on the table to be able to submit those reimbursements. Any other, did I catch everything? I think so.
Can I bring up a concern? that
Yes.
I want you guys to keep, if the opportunity arises, that you're gonna have more people wanna run for office or run for school board, like where I'm at in the area, if they can get reimbursement for mileage into the board meetings versus people that live right here in town that is just a few blocks away to come into the meetings and things. It's a little bit more of a hardship, and so they're not being represented out there necessarily. And the people I've talked to, that's one of the factors.
To be devil's advocate, I would say that we do offer the ability to attend remotely, and so.
Is that the most practical way, and is that fair?
Right. But could that money be used in a different aspect for the school district?
I I just threw it out there. No, I was just sharing, I won't be coming back, but, to allow it to be fair and equal down the road, including Golden Valley, still drive in, so.
I'm a part of a couple of different boards through our church's district office, and all travel, no matter what they are eligible for reimbursement. So like through one of the boards I serve on, we lowered the amount from the federal level to like 35 cents or something to make it more what fuel would actually cost or something like that. And then the other one is still the federal level, but just knowing that those are the same kind of, we're elected to do those, and all travel is, but at the same time, I know that money could go to the aspects of which the boards are meant to be, so. I have a hard time with, I see both ways.
The socioeconomic, though, is a little different out there.
And we want representation from our state, so that's why it's offered.
I just wanted to throw that out there to keep on your plate. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I'm not a voting member, but I would say we would need to review policy, because I believe policy specifically states outside of a regular meeting. I'm sorry? Does policy state outside of a regular meeting? We have to check that.
I'm fairly certain that's what we discussed last
It
meeting.
is, but I was thinking legislative and stuff, if we could put a bug in their ear.
Yeah, change policy.
Because it's probably not just us, our district.
Yeah, especially when you start getting into the rural districts. All right, so what would the board like to entertain?
So I would like to make a motion to approve the mileage reimbursement for members of the board to travel to special board meetings and workshops with preference to use a district vehicle, but have the ability to use their personal vehicle as they choose.
I'll second it.
Any other questions? Comments? Concerns? Because we're kind of making a policy, so we want to make sure we're good with it. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
There's an aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you, Lori. All right, item number 11, approve closure of Kingman Online Learning Academy Elementary School.
President Henry and members of the board, COLA, Kingman Online Learning Academy Elementary School, was opened in school year 21-22 in response to COVID for grades K through 5. It operated for 2 years with less than 100 students enrolled each year. Starting in school year 23-24, there has not been a need for an online elementary school. If the KUSD board approves this closure, it will go on to the State Board of Education for final approval. COLA Middle School and COLA High School continue to provide a much needed pathway for our KUSD students. So those schools will continue to keep them open. So, any questions?
How many students would be affected?
Right now, there's nobody enrolled in it in COLA Elementary.
What will happen with any student that would have qualified for COLA?
Parents would make a choice to enroll their students into COLA Elementary. So we didn't see the need for it after COVID, the pandemic.
No, I meant after going forward.
Right. We just haven't had the interest in it for any elementary students in grades K-5.
So you're not anticipating any student to be in need of that program?
We do have some other options for students if they're not able to attend in person, but that would be more of a case by case. The COLA Elementary was purely online for those K-5 students. We have some other options for students with special needs for K-5.
Are there currently any teachers or educators that would be affected by the closure?
No.
It was run as an overlap hybrid at Mount Tipton, where the Mount Tipton teachers were instructing their live classes, and then the technology was Zoomed, basically, to anybody that wanted to attend that live class from their home setting. The teachers worked really hard to try to engage both the online and the live students at the same time. But I think at any given time, Director Alvin, there were like 20 or less, and it was really difficult for those kids at home to participate, and then it sort of dwindled down to none. And so I appreciate your question, Board Member Jensen, but we kept it open just with no interest. And so the reason we're having to close it, or to identify it as closed, would you explain that?
So we are reporting to the State Board of Education. There's a yearly report that we have to provide data on for our online schools. And so I've reported the data for the middle school and high school, but we have nothing to report for the elementary school, which is why we would be closing it, why this came up.
Any other questions?
And we just submitted our reapplication, and elementary was not included.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation for closure of Cola Elementary School.
Is there a second?
I can second it.
Any other comments?
Would it be something that if something arose, that it could be reopened again?
Absolutely. Director Alvin has become very proficient at the AOI online application process.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's almost sad to see something go, but we understand.
Yeah. Yes,
When I first read it, I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
We can tell you that the middle school, high school COLA is sitting around 400.
That's awesome.
It's growing.
It's growing.
All right, that leads us to item number 12, to approve new coursework for the high school level, High School Band 1, Introduction to High School Band 1.
President Henry, members of the board, Lee Williams High School is bringing this course to the KOSD School Board for approval to begin in school year 25-26. As stated in the course description, this is an introductory band course to prepare students for high school band. Since KUSD supports the 4As, approving this course supports students on their pathway in the arts. Any questions? I have Principal Hannon is available to answer questions about the course if you have any.
So more or less, this will be a class that if they didn't take intro to band in junior high, they would have that ability to take it in middle school.
Exactly.
I mean, in high school.
Right.
So there's currently people that can't do band because they didn't do the introduction in the junior high, but there's no option for them?
There is, but it's very difficult for them to keep up with the pace of the concert band, so this would allow them to have that opportunity, and we do have students that are very interested in the introduction to band course. That maybe didn't have the opportunity at their middle school or elementary level to participate.
And we do take quite a few students at the freshman level that were in a district that doesn't offer any music programs. Just FYI.
No, I think it's awesome that you're going to be able to offer it, because if you're just learning an instrument, you don't want to be just learning an instrument with people that have already been playing since 5th grade, because that's when we start band. And that's really uncomfortable, especially when you're that age. So I think it's an amazing opportunity.
My daughter would have been one that would have benefited because she was homeschooled and then started in 9th grade. She had musical, she played a guitar, but that's not what you're playing in your typical band. So she carried a flute for pretend until she learned to play an actual instrument. So she would have benefited. All right, then is there a motion on the table then to approve?
I make a motion.
Second. All right, I have first and second. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Item number 13, approve the 2025 Memorandum of Understanding between Kingman Unified School District and Southwest Behavioral Health Services to approve mental health services to the district.
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. It's the time of the year where we do the memorandum of understanding for the health services that Southwest works in conjunction with us to provide our students with counseling. I have April Horton and Courtney Bautista here in case you guys have any questions.
Have we found that it's been beneficial to have this partnership?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, you see that there, that's the binders, that's how many referrals we've received in a year. And those are single pages So when individuals, teachers, the support staff are identifying individuals that need support immediately, there's an actual access to that. So they can send us that referral. We're going to reach out immediately. We're going to offer that intake within 7 days, start getting them the supports that they need. Sometimes they stay with us for a short time, sometimes they're with us for a long time. And our ultimate goal is to keep them in the classroom, right? So the benefits of having services at school is that if a kid has a 9 o'clock appointment with their therapist, they're not going to school until after that appointment. If they have one that's at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, they're going to get a pickup an hour before that. They're not returning back to school. So having that access to them at their place that they're at, and then the staff being mindful of core curriculum, allows them not to miss specific things. The other thing that the school district has been so great about is they make sure that we're aware when there are testing blocks. So we do not pull anybody. We don't even go to the school during testing block period of time. We're just on call for crisis during that time. So there's no disruption to the members, to the students, through the services that we're providing.
Do you stay at each school or do you rotate based off of the need?
So we rotate. So there is a staff, we have a team, and the team might have a day at Manzanita, KMS, KHS, and they're all dispersed throughout it. And then they might have like 2 or 3 schools assigned to them. So they might be at one school for a whole day, another school another whole day. And obviously, as we continue to grow with that, we will provide more and more growth within our staff to be able to provide those services.
This includes the rural schools?
Absolutely. We provide services all the way out to Dolan. And I know it's not part of your district, but we provide services to Peach Springs, Valentine District, so that individuals can, within our area, our region, can have those services. Yeah, so nobody really gets left behind on that. Yeah.
As it was noted in Dr. Warner's report, the well-being, these are very necessary services. Are you doing more of like a personal counseling for the children, or are you bringing in families?
We do both. So we have a child family therapist that works with them once they're identified. This is a family component. So they're able to see the child family therapist, and then we have individual therapists. We have skills case managers that will go out and work on behaviors or very specific needs. We were talking with Vicki a little bit earlier. There's an individual that needs specialized PCIT training, which is it's like an ABA for Tourette's. So we're able to identify those needs, get the training that's specific to those, and then bring it to the school to provide that support. Yeah.
And when you do the rural schools, it will not be based on, we're strapped on time this week, so we're only going to do Kingman. Coming from the system, I've experienced that, and so I'd like to hear a commitment that you're...
Yes, absolutely. So as a former educator, I worked at Topak Elementary, which, as you guys know, is very rural. And so I understand that disparity and the lack of resources to get out to those areas. So we do have an individual that's completely identified for those services on very specific days. So they are there for the whole day. They're not assigned to KMS at the same day they're assigned to Dolan, because we recognize how easily that can become disruptive. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So each one of those pages represents a person.
They represent a person.
How are you guys keeping up with your employees to burnout, to actually giving them the full quality versus checking off a box you met with them?
Right, so that includes the additional staff. So we continue to hire. We just met with our COO and Vice President today, and they've provided us additional staff for us to bring on board. So as we submit these referrals, we're also updating our leadership. The SCCS model, that's Courtney. Courtney's got that school community counseling services. That acronym gets me every time. It has been in our services with Southwest across all of Maricopa County for decades. So it's not a new program that we're putting into place. We are simply growing it into our more rural areas.
So, provide services to students and families who will pay for services out of pocket. What is this costing the kids?
So at this time, we had CBHSF, so Child Behavioral Health Service Funds grant, and that was covering for the first 2 years. Now they have switched to Mental Health Block Grant, SED, which is a different block grant. So we don't charge anybody out of pocket. We submit everybody through the grant. Since the inception of that grant last year, we've only had 3 individuals who were not qualified due to their medical necessity, and that's done through Solari, which is a state organized program that runs it through the grant. Their doctors review it and say, this is really low level need and not in need of the grant services. But we do not charge for those services that we're providing up through that process. That is just something we do as a non-billable in our systems. So we are not charging out of pocket.
And it's just being charged to the Arizona Healthcare Cost Commitment System, HA, whatever.
So access and then the mental health block grant.
Okay, so this doesn't come back on the parents, on the
No.
families, no surprise anything?
Nope.
And the school board, and in the school, they don't get surprised by anything either?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. We're very conscientious about that, making sure that an intake would normally get funneled through the access. But because of that grant funding, we enter our notes as non-billable. And we do not enter anything billable until they have approved insurance. That's at non-cost to them.
Okay, so they'll be seen by you even before the process?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, thank you.
Then is there a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding?
I can make a motion for approval.
We have a motion on the table, is there a second?
Second.
Any other comments or questions?
Thank you for the answers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Item number 14, approve the IGA between Mojave County Community College and Kingman Unified School District to continue the partnership to provide post-secondary opportunities to the high school students.
President Henry, members of the board. Thank you. This is an annual renewal. We work with Mojave Community College very closely in offering dual credit, concurrent, and as we look forward, early college opportunities. And this is just the lawyer-approved on both sides agreement. And it's at no cost to the district because we do pay, finance pays for the dual credit classes, but then we are reimbursed through the early college, so it's a net zero.
Any questions? All right. And is there a motion then to approve the IGA?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
First and second, any other comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, approve the minimum wage increase for hourly classified employees.
President Henry, members of the board, on January 1st, 2025, a minimum wage increase for the state of Arizona will go into effect, raising the minimum wage from $14.35 to $14.70. The district is proposing a 35-cent raise for all hourly classified employees effective December 22nd, and that's just the beginning of the pay period. It makes it easier for payroll. This will cost the district about $250,000 a year in salary and benefits.
Have you already allotted for this change in the budgeting?
Yeah.
And this is everybody?
Right,
All hourly classified employees.
for this,
Yeah, for this one.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the table, is there a
Second.
second? A second. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and that takes us to item number 16, possible action to approve the language of addendum at-will notice for classified employees.
President Henry and members of the board, to carry out the decision of the governing board that you just made on item 15, staff have brought forward a draft addendum to the at-will notice for classified employee. The addendum will be customized and sent to each classified employee employed with the district as of November 12, 2024, whose hourly rate of pay will change as a result of the decision that you just made. The addendum is specific to the change in an employee's hourly rate of pay. All other terms and conditions of the original at-will notice of employment will remain unchanged and in full force and effect. District staff recommend the governing board approve the addendum as to form as presented in packets.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 17, possible action on a recommendation to adjust the salary ranges of Manager 1, Manager 2, and Transportation Supervisor classifications, and the salaries of current employees in those classifications.
President Henry and members of the board, on April 23rd, the U.S. Department of Labor announced a final rule that expands federal overtime and minimum wage protections. The Department of Labor's revised rule increased the salary threshold for executive, administrative, and professional employees to an annual salary of $43,888 on July 1st of this year. On January 1, 2025, the salary requirement for executive, administrative, and professional employees increases further to $58,656 annually. The salary range and incumbents in the Manager 1 classification will be below the new threshold that goes into effect in January. For this reason, staff are recommending adjustments to the Manager 1 range and consequently the Manager 2 and Transportation Supervisor salary ranges because of compression. It is important to note that the Department of Labor's revised rule does not change the salary minimum exceptions for teachers or academic administrative employees because these exemptions do not require employees to meet any minimum salary test to qualify for the FLSA exempt status. For this reason, no adjustment to those ranges or to the salaries of employees in those positions are currently being proposed. The details of staff's proposal are included within the memo included in your packets. Staff are recommending the governing board approve the changes to the Manager 1, Manager 2, and Transportation Supervisor salary ranges and authorize staff to issue contract addendums to the impacted individuals listed in the memo to reflect the new salary amounts prorated for a partial year that would begin December 22nd, 2024. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
I'm curious about who are the managers and why do we need 8 manager number 1s?
They are in different departments. So Michelle Cook is one of our Manager 1s, and she is responsible for grants. And to add anything to that.
Okay. So we have over 27 federal and state grants, as well as she works with the state board facilities, so that it's a lot of hours, and the travel if she needs to go out to certain sites is a lot. So the idea of managing each department, and many of those grants have coordinators, so it's also supervising coordinators under her, so that's why we have a grants manager.
Michelle Frank is also a Manager 1. Julie, I don't know.
And Michelle's over at Los Anita Little Explorers, and she oversees our daycare program and office manager, and she does a great job, and daycare is her baby.
So she manages, how many daycare employees are there?
Daycare, she has 16 currently. 16,
How many? 16?
16 employees.
Plus she teaches for
She
King,
teaches early childhood 2 and 3
at Kingman High.
for 2 hours a day.
I didn't mean that. You tell me every person.
It's
great.
a
As long as
legitimate
it's
question.
It's a good question, and more just importantly, what's the difference between 1 and 2?
Okay.
Is it just the tier, 2 sit above the 1s, and they manage like 10 or 5 managers each?
So the Tier 2 folks, so Tandy Jensen is one of the Tier 2. She manages the entire transportation area, so there are a lot of people and functions, as you know there. The other Manager 2s are kind of the second in charge in the various departments, and so they have elevated responsibilities and autonomy and authority to do various things, especially in the absence of directors and executive directors.
And they're in IT, finance, and HR.
Got it. Okay, I was just curious, just all that matter.
We just want you to know we're always ready for you.
Knocking it out of the park, I just wanted to, I'm just curious.
I love that you're taking a proactive approach to compression, and I know it freezes the overall budget, but I think it definitely helps with morale. And I have a question, it's not directly related to this, but do we also do something for our teachers for years of service where we recognize the longevity or even experience as we offer those contracts?
We oftentimes do that with teachers. As a matter of fact, I guess the secret would be out of the bag, and we'll talk about it more later. But, in a future meeting, we're talking about a definite longevity raise out of the 301, because we do have some extra money that will be solely for teachers. And it'll be a decent amount. Correct, Director Jones?
Yes, yes, that's the idea.
Awesome. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the table to approve. Is there a second?
I can second it.
All right, we have a second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, number 18. We're changing the language.
So, President Henry, members of the board, so to carry out the decision that you just made regarding item 17, we've brought forward another draft addendum to term contract for exempt employee. This addendum will be customized again and sent to each employee, each salaried employee employed by the district as of November 12, 2024, whose salary will change as a result of your decision that you just made. The addendum is specific to the change in an employee's salary. All other terms and conditions of the original term contract will remain unchanged and in full force and effect. So staff recommend the governing board approve the addendum as to form as presented in your packets.
I'll make a motion to approve. Yeah, we have a motion on the table. Second. All right, all of us are in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, motion carries. Number 19, possible action on the request by Dina Sincelewski to be released from her employment contract effective December 31st, 2024, and to employ her in the same teaching position beginning January 6th, 2025, as a leased employee through ESI.
President Henry, members of the board, Ms. Dana Sincelewski, Cambridge social studies teacher at White Cliffs Middle School, has expressed her desire to retire from Arizona State Retirement System as of December 31, 2024, and then continue working in her same position at KUSD in 2025 as a leased employee. And we are recommending she be released from her contract in order to do that.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 20, approve listed donations.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Yes, very much. Thank you. A full page of donations. That's very nice to see. All right, so that brings us to item number 21, possible motion to move into executive session for ASR 38-431.03 to discuss a request by Don Dixon to waive litigated damages fees.
President Henry and members of the board, Ms. Dixon, who rejoined the district as an employee on November 4, 2024, has made a request of the board to waive the $2,500 liquidated damages fee previously imposed in July 2024 for breaking contract. Ms. Dixon is not present at today's meeting and defers to her written request to the governing board, which is included in your packets. Ms. Dixon conveyed to staff that she appreciates the board taking the time to review her request and will honor the decision of the board. And should you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them in executive session.
Do we want a motion to move to executive session, or we?
I would like to make a motion to move to executive session.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I'll make the motion to reconvene.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, item number 23, possible action on a request by Don Dixon, teacher, to have the liquid damages fee of $2,500 waived.
I would like to make a motion that we waive the penalty with the stipulation that Ms. Dixon completes the remainder of her 2024-2025 contract with satisfactory evaluation from administration.
All right, we have a motion on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then you'll let her know in that. Okay. All right, then item number 24 is a possible motion to move into executive session for ASR 38-431.03A1 to discuss the request to be released from employment from Yvonne Kirby, Joanne MacGyver, Alexandria Needleman, Sherry Dotson, and Keith Mitchell. So it will be our intention to move into executive session and discuss all three, or all five. Are there?
President Henry, members of the board, Ms. Kilby, Ms. Noodleman, and Mr. Mitchell are all in attendance at today's meeting.
I'll make a motion to move into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reconvene from executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
As Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.03, the governing board may hold an executive session for the specific purposes outlined in statute, which includes discussion or consideration of employment, assignment, appointments, promotion, demotion, dismissal, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of an employee. Through the executive session, board members are able to obtain additional information important for our making informed decisions and votes. It is unlawful to disclose or otherwise divulge to any person not in the executive session other than a current board member, a member of the board, or pursuant to a specific statutory exception, anything that transpired or was discussed during the executive sessions. Only the vote on the action item itself is made during the public portion of the meeting unless the employee themselves demands the discussion or consideration occur at a public meeting. I want to say thank you to all those in attendance or who are watching the meeting off-site for staying with us while we gathered additional information. We have now reconvened into regular session for any actions resulting from the executive session and are looking for a motion relative to the following items. Item number 26 is the possible action on a request by Yvonne Kirby, a teacher, to be released from her 24-25 fiscal year employment contract effective October 30th, 2024.
I would like to make a motion to accept the resignation for Yvonne Kilby effective October 30th, 2024, without penalty or reporting to Arizona School Board.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That
Arizona
motion carries.
Education, not School Board.
Item number 27 is possible action on a request by Joanne McIver, a teacher, to be released from her fiscal year 24-25 employment contract effective November 5th, 2024.
I would like to make a motion to accept the resignation to release Joanne McIver from her position without liquidation fees or penalty.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Item number 28, possible action on a request by Alexandria Noodleman, assistant principal, to be released from her fiscal year 24-25 employment contract effective December 31st, 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation for Ms. Noodleman, but with imposition of the liquidation fees and without reporting to the Arizona Education Board.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, number 29, possible action on a request by Sherry Dodson, teacher, to be released from her fiscal year 2024-25 employment contract effective October 21st, 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation of Sherry Dotson with imposition of fees and to report to the Arizona Education Board for misconduct, professional conduct exception.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 30, possible action on a request by Keith Mitchell, teacher, to be released from his fiscal year 2024 employment contract effective December 19th, 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation of Keith Mitchell without liquidation fees or penalty effective December 19th, 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That takes us to item number 31, board comments. Any comments from the board?
So I had, go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say that I had received recently some information that the board is not visible enough in the schools, and I wanna apologize. I know that most of us work full-time, and so that does interfere with being available. I've asked Valerie to see if there is a way to have like a shareable calendar of all of the different events that we could then access from our KUSD emails, so that it'd be easy rather than going to each different school, so that when we are off or when in the evenings, maybe we can jump in when there's parent-teacher nights or fairs or things like that. Because we do want to be involved, but unfortunately, we have other commitments to our time.
Yes, maybe even something like you used to send out with all the, I was trying to use the app, but there's not a lot of the things that aren't like, you know, it says, if you look in the schedule of events for that, it's mostly like end of the quarter, assessments, not the stuff that we would go to the school and try to be visible.
Like open house or.
Open house, yeah. Those kind of events aren't listed in the app to try and put them in our calendar.
Yeah, I'll definitely get those over to you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to recognize all the veterans we have in the district and who have children who are veterans and relatives and things, and thank them for their service.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to add from a personal, I guess, kind of a selfish thing. Thank you guys for everybody who voted for me to allow me to be here for another 4 years and to hopefully continue to improve and help both, or not just both, but hopefully help the students, the teachers, and the community to grow. I would love to see more of this, and I'm looking forward to learning about AI and getting that being pushed into schools. I'm looking forward to just seeing what the 4 years bring. So thank you very much.
Anything else? All right, is there a motion to adjourn item number 32?
Make the motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.